Hello, my name is Abhinav. I'm a director with Earthz. Super excited to be here today. The agenda today is to really talk about different investment models when it comes to real estate. Right? Real estate typically for any household is the biggest, if not amongst the biggest expenses that they will make in their lifetime. Obviously, it's huge. The number of variables that you need to take into effect before you make that decision can be quite complicated. And for us, our entire focus is essentially on enabling people to take that decision and take it in an informed manner, right? For us, if you look at different personas when it comes to investing, you can broadly classify this into about 5 different categories, right? The first category is essentially not for everybody. It's more of institutional investors, where the focus is on entering and sort of partnering with developers to take out new properties, right? Where the essential focus is on basically either underwriting that property, underwriting a large area like the entire floor plate, and essentially come at a rate which is much less what typical retail investors get into. A huge upside, because once you get to the retail investors, the margin kind of makes up for that play. The second investment category is people who typically get into projects, and here we're talking predominantly about residential side. They get into a pre-launch stage, and essentially from that point on, exit at typically launch or near launch stage. Here the focus is really on betting on the developer, betting on the project, and the location, right? Especially in Gurgaon, this has turned out to be a huge success. Take the example of DLF Arbor, what EMA did with Urban Oasis. And given that initial stages your investment is smaller, could be as small as about 10%, it becomes a big ROI game changer for most people. Again, retail investors who would essentially take a property either at launch or shortly thereafter, and then retain it till they get to the what is called the superstructure stage, where it is the building is visible, the sort of the catchment around that is more or less sorted, and you're able to kind of envision the end state of that project, right? Here you're taking a bit of a risk, because from a commitment on paper to actual realizable project, that risk more or less gets sorted in that stage. Essential element to consider here is that it typically works best if you have a renowned developer, an area where there is a good visible residential catchment and a critical mass of what we call commercial around it. So that the next category investors is what we call are essentially people who would take it or get into a project anywhere from a pre-launch, launch, and they actually retain it till nearly the occupational certificate stage, or OC stage as we call it. And then typically the market forces would have propelled the number substantially high, and that helps them with their ROI by the end of it. So before the last tranche of payment, before your essentially registry costs kick in, you're able to make a sensible exit out of it. The last stage or last personas which typically we see are what we call long-term investors, right? Now these long-term investors have a time horizon of about 3 to 5 years, if not more. The fact that look, real estate is a finite commodity. In a good city like Gurgaon, you'll always have this delta about supply and demand. And then if you are in that right cycle property-wise and you vested long enough, any typical property will give you a good ROI. Is to really balance out your portfolio. Look at a variety of asset classes. So whether it is from a pure capital gains perspective, maybe something for rental income, and additionally you can balance it out with different asset classes like balancing farmland along with apartments, right? And that sort of gives you a good balanced play when it comes to your real estate portfolio, right? Now for us at Earthz, I think the big focus is on helping you identify and balance these risks, giving you a very transparent entry point and a calculated exit point for most properties, right? Hopefully this gave you a perspective on different asset classes, different personas when it comes to investing. We would love to hear more. If you'd like to connect with us, we host this fortnightly series called Gurgaon Real Estate Forum. Would be super excited to actually have you join us. and we can take any question that you may have when it comes to investing in India. Right? Thank you again. Wish you a great day wherever you are. Signing out.